Okay, let's go for the next one. The next one is very interesting one because it is the most one of the most common pretty much mistakes that people forget to think about, especially into lower divisions, right? I see so many people in silver, still playing with a locked camera. For a lot of the people, this is not an issue, but for any student that I ever get, if I want them to climb, the first thing is always if I see that they're playing the lock camera the first week, we're not doing anything. We're just making sure they will get the muscle memory on their map awareness and camera control. I don't want to see anything else from them. I just want to see them play 20 to 30 games without camera locked and getting used to clicking on their thumb, right? On their space, sorry, with clicking on the space bar, right? With their thumb, right? At the same time as they're doing their Q, W, E, R here, and then never ever thinking about clicking the Z or wherever they actually key binder the locking of the camera. Okay, if you want to be the top tier jungler, there is not gonna be any room ever for locking the camera. Okay, so once again, if you play with a lock camera, take a week, take 2 weeks. It trust me, like 50% of your climbing problems are gonna be solved if you just take maybe a week or maybe two on solving this, and then later on, you're going to be able to focus on understanding the playstyle of your champion, who to gank early on, how to make a prioritization, the basics of jungle tracking, and you will be able to utilize more knowledge on top of you being able to do proper camera movement. Okay, so beside camera control, there's map awareness. What about the map awareness? I see so many people watching the map either at the wrong times, right? Or too much or like too little, okay? So usually it's not gonna hurt you to, watch the map as much as possible, but then like you need to have your clear to be also as efficient. If you want to play like a challenger, grandmaster, master tier, first of all, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're full clear, right? I don't care if you're playing early strong, early weak jungler. I want your full clear to be somewhere around 315, okay? Imagine you playing in a gold division, right? Imagine playing into the gold division and having a 315 to 320 clear. Well, you're going to be pretty fast onto the other side of the map compared to majority of the lower elo players whose full clear is usually around like 330 to 345, right? You're going to be way faster, and this is what we like to call tempo. Tempo in jungle basically means you being able to make a play before the enemy jungler. How do you achieve tempo? Well, you make sure that your clear is as fast as possible, right? You practice it, you did practice it at least 10, 15 times, right? To pretty much get it to its fullest potential. So once you get a match versus these lower elo guys, they will never be able to match you because you will have tempo on them, right? You'll be able to make you will be the first one to make the play, right? And then once you're the first guy to make the play in, let's say, in a situation where enemy jungler is pathing towards the same lane as we are in this situation top lane, if you're faster, not only you get the first gank there, right, but after you make a gank, you instantly made yourself a priority for the skull crab also. And then obviously if you have prior mid and prior bot, which you can't really do much about that, but if you have, sure, take even the second skull crab. If I had this in high low, I would know straight away that I just won the game, I would be further ahead of the enemy jungler, and I know I would be hitting level 6 pretty much soon. And level 6 is usually very important because that's usually the time where you should, you will be thinking about fighting the first team fight, maybe around the dragon, So if you're playing Diana, if you're playing Shyvana, Karthus, or anybody with important global ults, or generally speaking, important ult, is going to make such a big difference, okay? So I want you to work on, your clear speed, right? And then once you fix your clear speed, that's when you come to the map awareness, which is basically the topic that I wanted to talk about, right? So if you don't have any issues clearing your cams, then what you're supposed to do is start looking at a map. The best possible times for you to look at a map is usually when crossing between the cams. This is the best time you can look at. If you're a total beginner, then sure, like try to first put some time into your clear, and then also practice looking at a map just a little bit, and then increasing that time over the time by a little, okay? the biggest time zone where you will be able to watch around the map is definitely going to be able walking from Krugs to Raptors, and also from Raptors to Wolves. Usually, whenever I coach people, I always tell them, if he's playing early strong jungler or neutral jungler, I tell him, okay, man, if you're here, you need to decide right now, is this gankable or not? If it is not gankable, you proceed here. But then, as you're proceeding to Wolves, is this gankable or not? And you're early strong or neutral jungler. If this is gankable, screw all of this. You're going over there, you're making a gank, getting a kill, starting a snowball, and then you can clear all of these camps, take a skull, recall, go on a second sequence at 420, which your camps are going to be spawning here once again, okay? That's what you're going to be doing, okay? But if you're doing all of like this, boom, 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 clearing your camps, and over here, this is not gankable, this is not gankable, sure. Even though if you're like ES, early strong jungler, right? Like still full clear camps if there is nothing happening, right? And then in the last option, if you have no information where the enemy jungler is or where the enemy jungler started, because sometimes you will be able to take, right, red buff, then Krugs, and then Raptors, and sometimes you will be able to not continue the route here for the full clear if this and this is not gankable, but you will be able to do something like this. Because usually, if mid lane is not gankable and top lane is not gankable, means that these guys are pretty much under the tower and your laners are pushing, right? But what does that mean if your laners are pushing? How do we call that? Priority. We call that prio, right? Prio. If you have prio, you have an opening right now to go straight away and invade the enemy jungle onto the red buff. Obviously, we want to be thinking if we have really strong mid laner, because if you don't have Talon LeBlanc who can follow up on this, if you get in trouble, better not even doing it, right? If you have Cassid in mid who can't do that, who can't walk up, who needs to scale up, you're probably going to be better off not even doing that unless you're playing hyper aggressive early game jungler, such as maybe Nidalee, Graves, Shaco, Listen. But once again, those guys are being played in high divisions because they're early high impact, right? But as the game progresses, they become more and more irrelevant. But in high divisions, as you guys climb along the ladder, the games are going to be decided in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And when you have that knowledge, obviously, when people in high divisions have the knowledge that the games are over pretty much in the first 5 to 10 minutes, they're decided who's going to win. Everybody wants to win early game. That's why Lee Sin, Shaco, and all of the other early strong junglers that I mentioned before, such as also Elise and Jarvan, are being played in high divisions, while the early week guys are, on the contrary, way more better if being played into the lower divisions because they have zero risk. Because no matter how bad you play early game as an early week jungler and you underperform, you're still gonna be able to, clear camps, right? Play of them, and then if the enemies are not good enough at a game, which in lower divisions usually they're not, you're gonna be able to scale up, get back into the game, boom, and then just outscale and be able to 1v9 just because of the nature of your champion, okay? So I hope that is clear.